Welcome to Mansfield Digital Connects. We had our first webinar yesterday, and so I thought it would be appropriate to talk about that in the podcast today. And our topic was the biggest trends that will impact the workplace of 2020. And it's really quite interesting because you can kind of sum it all up to technology. And of course, we all know that. We all feel that and see the effects of that today. But this fourth industrial revolution of technology is moving at such a faster pace that it's faster than anything ever before. And the interesting thing is that 5 years from now, 35% or more, but 35% of the skills that are considered important today will change. And everything is, again, as I said, because of technology, a lot of what's changing is where the emphasis is going to be placed. If technology can replace a lot of the mundane administrative day-to-day tasks, well, what does that leave for the human? And so the number one thing that's being looked at is EQ, emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. That is something at this point in time machines can't do. 90% of the top performers have high EQs. Emotional intelligence explains 58% of a leader's job performance. People with higher EQ, on average, make more money. Research shows that EQ is the number one predictor in success, whether it's in life or in business. Number one predictor. They say that driverless cars are forecasted to make up 75% of all the traffic by 2040. Imagine how many people will be unemployed just in that industry of transportation. So at some point in time in the future, they're predicting that it will actually be unsafe and illegal for humans to drive. That's crazy, but we're definitely headed that way. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about artificial intelligence. So the way that they describe the workplace in the future, there are several characteristics. The first is going to be adaptability, and that just stands to reason with all of the fast change. The second is going to be choice. So employees are going to be able to decide where and how they want to work. It's no longer this, where do you work? Where do you go to work? No, you're going to do your work from anywhere. You don't have to be at a physical location. Entrepreneurship is also going to be the norm. And a lot of that has to do, again, with technology. Can't talk today. And collaboration. I love this word. Collaboration is going to be a major driver of performance. Because as everything becomes more competitive, businesses are going to understand and see that in order to be competitive, they're going to have to collaborate with other businesses in order to provide and do something that they can't do on their own. The other thing is health and wellness is going to be a priority over work. Crowdsourcing, we've seen a lot of that now, but that's going to be used to co-create products and ideas. So a lot of changes are definitely coming, but that whole thing about EQ, the buzzword that's being used is enterprise leadership, but that's exactly what they're talking about is that EQ and the role of artificial intelligence and robots. So today we have what they call assisted intelligence. And this is like what we talked about. They've automated the repetitive, time-consuming task. It's also one of the reasons why there's been such an increased demand for STEM skills, because they need these new people with these new skills to build this new tech ecosystem. The thing that's emerging now is called augmented intelligence. And this is something that will fundamentally change the nature of work, because what will happen is the emergence of humans and machines collaborating together to make decisions. So it's using artificial intelligence in the decision factor of humans. And that's something that will make us better at what we do. The one thing that doesn't happen with machines, like I said earlier, is that those human traits of emotional intelligence, creativity, persuasion, innovation, all of that stuff, companies now, that's what they're looking for. Those are the important skills, all about that EQ. The next level is autonomous intelligence. That's the future. And this is kind of interesting because this is adaptive, continuous intelligence. So what happens is over time, the machines learn more and more, and they have the ability to take over the decision making. So therefore, the human is no longer necessary. And the point that was made was the future of humans at work is questioned. So what will we do if these robots can do everything, if everything can be done? The one thing that for the foreseeable future is the need for these, what they're calling pivotal people, and those that can contribute to an organization with those skills that I talked about, high EQ, the creative people, people that can persuade, people that are innovative. Those are going to be the people that organizations are going after. That's the high demand. And so as we move into all of these changes, yes, there are other things. We've got Generation Z. I mean, forget about millennials. It's all about Generation Z now. And this is what employers are also trying to harness, is how do we pull these people in? How do we work with these people? How do we engage them, challenge them, create a sense of job satisfaction? So the focus is on Generation Z. Social media is still a hot topic, and it's still something that, because it's global, that use is going to continue to increase. So that's still a viable thing when you talk about the future. Another thing, there was a study done by the World Economic Forum. They predicted that 65% of kids in school today will be employed in jobs that don't even exist today. So how do companies prepare for roles that don't exist? I mean, how does that even happen? And then how do you keep a pool of people? How do you have access to this talent that you're going to need that you don't even know what you need it for yet? So there's a lot of uncertainty, but it's all exciting, I think. I feel that it's exciting. The other thing that businesses are going to have to do is, okay, so you've got all these changes coming on. How do you redeploy the employees that you currently have? They may not even have the skills. Either their skill set or their job may become obsolete. So what do you do? How do you redeploy that? Those are also challenges that are coming. So a lot of new stuff. To me, it's exciting. Stuff that we have to think about, be prepared for. I think, to me, the number one thing is that adaptability and being open to change and not trying to fight that change. But those are just some of the trends, some of the things that I've come across that are going to be happening between now and 2040. And thank you for joining us on this podcast, and we'll talk to you next time.